What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show. Today, joining me from one of my favorite places in the world, my hometown, British Columbia, actually Richmond, British Columbia. I'm from a suburb over, but it's the same place. Is Maria Osipova. Maria, how you doing?
Doing excellent. Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you here and chat about all things Penny, which you are the VP of Marketing at. So, before we get into that, I want to pass the mic. Walk us through, give us the backstory. How did you find yourself in this crazy world of marketing?
Absolutely. Well, the story goes all the way back. First of all, I got into my very first marketing role straight out of university, and I highly recommend to anyone that takes any type of theory or any type of course, really supplemented by that early on experience. I was lucky to have a co-op program where I would study for a semester and then go and work for a semester. And from semester one, I ended up at a somewhat small company in London, Ontario, and I knew marketing was for me right away. Pretty cool to start at a small company because you get the whole runaround of different marketing experiences, not just, fax and copy and do things within a large company. So I was smart and I kind of did 2 semesters at a small company. They loved me enough to invite me back. And then did another stint of 2 semesters at a much larger company called iAnywhere, now Sybase, now acquired by SAP. But then I could see the whole tech B2B environment of marketing and knew that that's where I wanted to stay. So from there, I kind of did the whole round of marketing roles. Started as a coordinator, did quite a bit of stuff in demand generation, ran events, ran marketing operations along the way. Kind of did it about 7 years at different companies, all tech companies, sometimes software, sometimes kind of technology services, and really got a feel of what marketing environment is like. And after that, I was like, well, can I run the whole department? Can I run the brand? Can I run, can I totally not just run a campaign and see what falls out, but be responsible for the product direction, be responsible for building it from scratch. So that's how I went into Media LA. That was my very first kind of head of marketing role and was a perfect environment because it was truly from scratch. The company was separating from its parent company, just raised the first round of financing. So it's like, there you go, build the brand, make it happen, hire the team. So got my whole bunch of learnings and errors and mistakes from there, but also just such a rush of taking the initial vision, building it into a brand, taking it to kind of the major global competition with companies like Adobe, trying to knock into Gartner, all of that, the startup run. And from there I was so hooked. Went to Traction Guest, similar kind of stage, maybe a little bit of a higher round of financing, again, that startup hyper growth stage, hire the team, scale it, make it triple. And from there to Penny AI, where I am right now. And also just such a fantastic opportunity in what I call an underserved market environment.
I love it. I love the fact that you can pull all the way back to college and say, okay, I did 2 semesters at a small company, and I learned really about the nuts and bolts and how everything goes. But then also going into the bigger company and saying, okay, here's what it looks like at a much larger view, and here's what we have to do from a strategic vision standpoint. And not that small companies don't have that; it's just a lot harder to dedicate time to that when. At least in my experience in a small company, the house is always seemingly on fire. So it's like we just have to focus on putting out that fire, um, you know, before we can be proactive.
I couldn't have planned it better if I tried. Like at the time, I didn't know anything better. So, like, whoever hired me on the first run, thank God, I'm going to be marketing there. But we got to work with so much larger scale projects, pitching to Walmart, like writing the proposition for Staples. I could never even like touch it at a larger company. And yet, there, I got to apply it to some of the really impactful things that affected the company. And I think some of my path in kind of that startup, high growth environment and having that full ownership and responsibility and knowing the impact had been somewhat shaped and formed back at the time where I knew that I could do this project that could make or break the company and make it happen.
Amazing. Now let's shift gears a little bit.
Mhm.
Penny, what is it? Give me that elevator pitch because I went on your website. I've checked it out. I think I have an idea, but I want to pass it to you to kind of talk me through what the company does, and then we can get into kind of how you all approach marketing with that and some of the philosophy behind. behind it.
Yeah, let me start with a little tiny bit of a backstory. So, the way Penny started was really one of the co-founders. His wife was in direct sales. So Penny is the data-driven sales enablement platform for direct sales, built for direct sales industry. So it started right out of the I want to say basement for full
Hmm.
glamour, but no, just right out of kind of the family business. And Terry Lynn was raising three kids, working as a nurse, and decided to supplement her income with the direct sales business. And within years, really got the customers going, had global team under her, and was just not handling it with all of the spreadsheets and with all of the things that she had to manage. And going to the husband that was in tech is like, hey, is there a program that I can use? Is there something that I can leverage to put everything into one place and make my life, easier so that I can focus on my business and grow it along all of the things that I'm doing? And they looked across everything and they ended up building Penny exactly for that use case, with Sterling being kind of like a prototype. And from there, it grew into an enterprise grade platform, keeping all of the customer data, enabling the sellers with some very, very simple things. Pretty much within 5 minutes, what can you do that is going to drive your business?
Very cool. Now, it's interesting, right? Because you at Penny are now going after um, small business owners, consultants, people who are thinking about their bottom line, especially at the mid package and enterprise too. People are thinking about, okay, how does this enhance our sales team and grow that? I want to talk a little bit though about how I see, for context listeners, go to their website, which is getpenny.com, because this will make this next part I say a lot clearer. Um, you guys have a lot of content. You have the blog, and then you have the Pennyverse. Um, what I want to talk to you about, though, is really the premise behind this. And we talked a little bit off air. Is how you approach providing value to the customer, and doing that through content. Is that through the Pennyverse, through the blogs? Is there other channels that you're leveraging? Like, walk me through this idea of always providing value to the customer.
That is a great question. When we built Penny, the app, well, the idea was to provide the value and enable the consultant. But when you think of who's actually working in direct sales, it's moms. Do they have sales education? Do they have marketing education? Maybe not. Do they have the full day to block out and focus on just reaching out to customers and spitting out the scripts that they don't even maybe know the word script? Maybe not. But all of that is required to grow the business and to be efficient. And compared to, probably everyone through the COVID times realized that how hard it is to work while your kids are running around, while your mailman is knocking on the door. Well, they have to do the job of a full blown on salesperson while jungling all that. So when we think about enabling them, it's teaching them to write a quick script. It's teaching them to, organize the time maybe a little bit better, or to give an example of an email that can be sent, or of building a web page. All of that goes beyond what Penny does. Penny just shows up as like, hey, these are the 5 people to reach out to. What's your best script? Well, when I talk about value, it's enabling their entire journey. And Penny, who's better than Penny the brand, to teach and to kind of elevate the consultant and to get them to that success stage. Because just like as any small business, we know that 9 out of 10 go out of business. Well, if we can shift that statistics to, maybe 6 out of 10 stay, and they supplement their income through COVID, through right now, the momentum for the industry is amazing. Everyone's selling from home, everyone's building personal relationships through digital, and those are micro entrepreneurs living and breathing kind of the truth. So if we are part of enabling those, I call them micro entrepreneurs because I think that's exactly who they are. They're building their personal brand. Then that's our way of delivering value. Blog is amazing. Resources are amazing. Pennyverse is meant to be the hub of different type of resources. And thank you so much for looking at the website in the last couple of days, because if you looked 10 days ago, it wouldn't be there. So it's just a first reiteration, phase one, of having direct sales expertise is one part, Penny specific expertise is another part. But the big vision is micro masterclass style, the courses, the trainings, something that would enable anyone and everyone that joins the industry to succeed. And that's where I see the value.
And it's interesting because when you have that mission in behind it, the content and it almost creates itself. I mean, you have to put the muscle towards it, but when you have that mission of like, okay, we're here to enable these consultants and we're here to enable people so that they can grow their business. These micro entrepreneurs who anyone who's shit, if you've even only ran a lemonade stand, you know it's like how,
Totally.
how much are the lemons today? How much? Where am I going to go out and knock on doors? What's the money in, money out? Like, there's so. Do I hire the kid next door to help? Like, there's so many questions at running a lemonade stand. Never mind a real business, and to be able to answer some of those and take some of the pressure off, because I think it speaks to is amazing because I think it speaks to a deeper issue that everyone has, which is imposter syndrome and the amount of people that they start something, they start to live their truth, as you said, and they're passionate about a product or about its mission, and then they start to doubt themselves. And am I cut out for this? And all of those negative scripts that start to go on in a customer's head. Well, now, if they go to something like the Pennyverse, they can see content and be like, "Oh, this company has my back." And I'm not the only person who's asked this question before or felt this, right?
You totally hitting it spot on. Absolutely. And there is a bit of a dichotomy in the direct sales industry because people that do it really well, and as I say, micro entrepreneurs build humongous brand, right? Like they have people underneath them, teams of thousands, teams of 2,000 sellers and consultants that they inspire, that they enable. So someone that's new and that's just starting in the direct sales business looks up to them and is like, oh, this is this perfect person with the beautiful flowing hair, with the, flawless skin using the products. I'm miles away. I don't even know how to sell it to my sister, let alone to, everyone that I meet in the street. And in addition to the value of just, hey, here is the education, we talk about this as well. We recently launched real life of direct sellers feature on social that pretty much invites anyone and everyone to submit a short video of their day-to-day life, how they're running with the three kids around, and how there is like literally today the launch of an elderly couple that's been crushing the business between the two of them and kind of splitting up the selling part and the administrative part. And it does not look glamorous. It looks like everyday person with that idea to inspire and to say, you can do that. Like anyone can do it. There is a guy with the baby that was able to stay home and work from home and live with, every moment of the 2-year old while running that business. And, yes, sometimes he's by the laundry basket answering the emails. But I think this type of things is part of that vision as well. And when we talk value, it's not just, hey, let me give you something that you could possibly pay for, but you're not paying for. It's, I care about you. I try to think what life is like for you. And I try to guess and be, the first to offer it and suggest it. And that's part of understanding and empathizing and caring that I think a big part of the philosophy of Penny, because we started knowing so closely that specific persona helping Terylene, then that translates into, well, we care about the industry. It's moms. It's inspiring people that crush through those challenges. And when you look at their stories, another one of our series is Legends. So that's a total opposite of like, this is crazy success. Also, some of their struggles, if you read through the Legends, like 3-page conversation interview, it's crazy what they had to go through to achieve what they have in the business. So we try to highlight both. We try to elevate and celebrate truly, crazy successes, but also show just what the people are like, and it's all real industry, real business.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think about content in really four buckets: um, inspirational, entertainment, educational, and then promotional. And we talked a little bit off air, but a lot of companies I think miss the boat when they start going too heavy on entertainment. And this is funny, okay, it's distracting, and that's fine if it's part of your mix and part of your brand voice. But to what you're saying, the effective stuff is, hey, when we show an elderly couple that's killing it, like you're inspiring another customer because they see themselves in your current customer set, coupled with education, actual articles on like what can you write off, or like here's how to do social media or whatever that educational piece is. um, I think that for anyone listening and thinking about their own strategy is like jot that down. Go, okay, inspirational, entertaining, educating, or promoting. And what am I doing too much of? and what do I need to be doing more of? Because just hearing your stories there, it's like, oh, the stuff that becomes effective is that educational and inspirational content in your space, right? And for your company, and it could be something different for another company. So I think that that's something to note. It's just cool to hear and see that manifest. So
Yeah. And it's a helpful lens to evaluate, like, especially once you spend a year or two with the same company, you get so ingrained into that mentality. You forget that your customers have other things in their life and maybe 100 other tools that they're using. Your message becomes all about 100% of the time you. So that kind of either value or empathy part is really important to step back and say, how does it fit into their day? If I'm joking in every message, well, would they like something of value from me? Could I help them to do better? Or maybe the joke is actually one of the things we do in an app is people do need that 3 o'clock pickup. When you're sales and you're facing rejection 99% of the time, you actually do need someone to shake you up and say, hey, you're amazing. So it's not just funny, but it's funny yet uplifting you. And then because it is within the context where it makes sense, yeah, entertaining is perfectly fine.
yeah, it fits to a purpose, right? And understanding what the purpose of that content is. I think that's so important, and a lesson anyone can take. Now, Maria, before I let you go, let people know where can they find out more about Penny and connect with you online.
Absolutely. So www.getpenny.com is the hub of all of our information. And on LinkedIn, Maria Osipova, just search me up. There's only so many Russian last names right there. So welcome to everyone to connect, and would love to stay connected with anyone within the industry.
Amazing. And I will put links to both Penny and Maria's LinkedIn on the show notes page. So wherever you're listening, head down, click that button, and you'll be able to do that. Maria, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jordan. Such a pleasure.
All right, everybody. That's it for this episode. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Shelton, and I'll catch you next time.